So let's kick it off since we are 2 minutes past the starting time. I think everyone. Oh, we have new joiners. Hello, David and Meg.
The link that's on Keptn had me waiting for a host to start meeting. So I went to the one that was in the minutes and that one worked.
You
Yes,
mean
same. The calendar link.
the one that we have here?
I mean the one in my calendar.
Ah, then I cannot control
Oh,
that. Please always use the one in the community page from the CNCF or the one in the document.
well, no, there was such a time when the one in the document wasn't working. And this is not the one that Stacy's at, so.
Then I shared the agenda with everyone here in the chat. Please add yourself to the attendees list. And if you have any topics, please add them to the agenda so we can discuss them. And I would like to start with the first topic, which is end of life of Keptn. Just a friendly reminder, we announced in the announcement channel that we are basically going away from supporting Keptn V1 with the end of life by 14th of December, 11th of December, sorry. And therefore, please reach out for any feedback according to this thing, and also for helping you to migrate towards the new Keptn. Keptn V1 things, just try out the lifecycle toolkit, and if you need any help, we are there to support you with the migration process. Some folks already start to reach out to Stacy or me to discover the use case and help them to the migration, so use this opportunity. Any other topic from the community? Looks like nope. Then we can go and discuss the documentation if there are no further topics for the community. Then,
Okay.
Meg, yep,
Oh,
please
do
go
you want
ahead.
to take it? Either way, just heads up. Um, Adam and Moritz have put together a wonderful new getting started guide, which I personally think is orders of magnitude better than what we had. More work to still do. But it actually is step by step all the way and tells you what you're going to do. So I'm hoping if there's any new community members out there who are looking for something to do, running through this and letting us know what happens would be wonderful.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
But
Adam and Moritz, to bring this to the merge line. Very extensive documentation. Thank you very much.
yes.
Then from Adam, possible Keptn task git revert. Attach runtime info to Keptn tasks. We know about that. Adam, there is an enhancement proposal for this. So maybe it's worth for you to have a look at this one and provide your feedback.
Cool, will do. So while we're discussing waiting for that KEP, is there another way to do what I'm trying to do, which is basically integrate with Git, I guess? Because at the moment we've got a post task that fails. I want to trigger some sort of action based on that. I want to trigger a rollback or a revert or something, to get me back to a healthy state. Because if we're saying that a post task failing means my application is unhealthy, then I want to do something based on that post task failing. And I can write my own Keptn task, which is fantastic, but I can't get any external information in from outside. So is there another way that I can attack this, maybe?
So speaking of Git, I would assume that somewhere you're passing through the repository, so you can clone it into the task.
Yes, I can do that, kind of not statically, but as you know, with the Git auth details, I can do that with a secret or something, because that's not going to change. The thing that's really dynamic is that the previous commit, and we can't even assume that it's the last commit. Obviously, we need the hash.
Yeah. Um,
You can pass environment variable to task. And you could potentially also have them communicate with something else to read this information.
But the environment variable, you would have to set that earlier, then you wouldn't have the context of the last task, right?
yeah. So
yeah, you will
have
basically
on the side you have to modify the CRD that defines the task. To pass this information.
yeah, you can pass through here, but it's a static thing. It's not
Yeah.
dynamic.
Yeah.
Might
It needs to be dynamic, I reckon.
Yeah, I think you need to wait for this enhancement proposal, where the idea is that you can specify. No, I think I give you the wrong one. Sorry. Is this one? Where you can pass basically a package of data into your Keptn app or workload, and these are propagated through. Did we close it, or I'm stupid and I misread this?
Wasn't that part of the analysis epic? Another cap?
No, I don't think this was part of the analysis app. I will have a look and then reach out to you, adding
We have an
some.
epic for it, no? On the live on the project.
It might be being tackled in, because I know there were a couple of people looking at how to integrate with Git operations like rollbacks and GitOps in general. I think Thomas was looking at it, and I think he had a PhD student, didn't he? That was.
Yes, that was mainly for the promotion. Was a master's student.
I think we decided that rollback is too hard at the moment, right? Like there's too many moving parts.
But wouldn't we need something similar for promotion effort anyway? We're going to need, or maybe not.
Rollback gets complex because it's like, you know, what happens if you roll back, but then the last change breaks as well? What does it do then? There's a lot of, yeah, it gets pretty complex. I think to give people the ability to make their own sort of logic would be acceptable for now, but that would need the context being passed in from the evaluation or task before it.
Yep. I agree. We can tackle this here as part of the context propagation. We can pass through also some, like the baggage header.
Yeah, would that be acceptable to start with, Adam, and then review after we get that capability?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Just sorry, I don't mean to sidetrack this, but the context propagation. Another thing that came up is the ability to have something generate a an open telemetry span ID when the pull request is opened, for example, and we then pass that span ID to Keptn, because then when Keptn finishes its trace, we can say, well, end to end, that took 3 weeks to get into production. Would that sort of thing be tackled in this?
Also, yes.
Yeah, cool.
Although tracking that specific thing, I would say trace is not the best because it's a misuse of the purposes of tracing. You should
Then
be
you could use
more,
a git char would probably.
yeah, would be better, but use cloud events. I know that Mauricio Salatino started to write a book on that, and they also suggest to track this metric as part of events because it's more async work. So if it's more the eventing style instead of trace that describe a specific request.
Yeah.
That was going to be another sort of question I had around this. So are we going to define a loose specification of what the context should look like? So, how it's going to be presented to the next task.
Yes. Yeah, this should
Yeah.
be part of this one.
Do we have something documented
Yeah,
there?
it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
This was the comment here, but
Yeah.
we are prioritizing the SLO feature parity, and then we can start tackling this enhancement proposal.
Would possibly like a CD event make sense there, or?
For that, we have even yet a different ticket if you want to track that specific part. For this, he suggests exactly that, to look into CD events to emit them. If you want to track CD events in particular, this is the ticket.
We might have to contribute some more to the spec because we might want to do the evaluation. They don't have a specification for that in the CD events as well.
Yeah, they are more towards really just pipelining mainly.
Yeah, pipeline start, build start, artifact produced, etc.
Yeah. Maybe under the testing events can be interesting. But yeah, we can for sure integrate with this. We already prepared the code base to emit cloud events, and we just need to finalize.
Which, yeah,
Sorry,
because I
Brad?
mean, CD event is. I was just going to say, like, CD event is just using cloud events anyway, so
Yeah,
I guess it's really the same thing.
yeah, just we can talk cloud events, but CD events have a specific semantics of those cloud events, and we need to not just use our own semantics, but then adapt our own fields to fit into that specific specification. Any other?
I jumped in as we're on the call on this one, so sorry about this. I sneakily put this
no
in.
worries.
That's okay.
It might be a simple yes or no, but like a read-only Keptn mode. What I mean by that is the fear is that we can install Keptn and have it break something. In particular, the pre-tasks. Post-tasks, your pods are running. The worst case scenario is you get some red on a dashboard somewhere, but pre-tasks could be bad. So if we could have a flat, like, it might help have those conversations about adoption in companies. If we can start with the flag, so it can't actually break anything. We can play around with this safely, and then as a company, when we get comfortable with this, we can enable the pre-tasks if we want to.
So your use case is you want to run pre-tasks, but if they fail, they don't stop the deployment itself.
Right. Just
Basically.
because they give a message.
Yeah. Fundamentally, what I want is a way, if I was trying to adopt Keptn, is to say to my boss, nothing bad can happen. We can roll this out. And the worst that would happen is we'd get a couple of alerts that don't block deployments. Because if I go and have a conversation, a transparent conversation, and say it has the ability to block deployments, I think that would be a no straight away. potentially.
Yeah, my
So,
counter argument is don't use pre-task until you feel safe.
Yeah, but why not
Yeah.
have a feature flag to just disable that
I
part?
know. Yeah, I think it makes sense to have like don't fail flag, something like that.
Yeah.
Where we run evaluation and task and we ignore the results, we just execute them, but let the deployment goes through anyway.
Maybe introduce a warning status, no.
Either that
Now
or
we
you
have
just
either
disable
pass
the
or
whole thing.
fail.
No, what I mean is the trace will report that something failed, so you will have all of that. The logs will say that task failed, but the scheduler won't block the pod to be bound to a node and be deployed.
Mm.
So we
I'll
report
leave
that.
the implementation to the brains, but that's basically the use case there is just
I like
reduce
the
the
idea.
fear, I guess.
Yeah. That's a very good input. I will create a ticket to collect these thoughts around. Thank you. Then I guess, Mike, this topic from migration
back
strategy
to
is yours.
another new piece that we have, which is, we'll see if it's useful. We wanted a migration guide and it really doesn't, but this, we tried to put together, if you've got a Keptn V1 app and you want to migrate it, here's sort of what you might do with, what do you do with a project or service or something. Thanks to everybody. We got a lot of good comments on this. And it's, if somebody actually does it, I'm sure it can be improved, but at least, and it's out there. It's, if somebody's interested in it, we've got a place to point them to start.
And Mike, for your information, yesterday evening, I pushed this to live.
I knew that. That's why you're looking at it on,
Yeah.
That's why you got
So
a link on that. Next
so
couple,
not,
you're gonna get links to PRs.
Maybe
thanks
change
a
the
lot.
link to not point to the main
Yeah,
branch.
exactly.
Yeah.
If someone looks at the agenda.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's pushed to. It's actually pushed to live.
Yep.
Okay.
I did that yesterday evening.
Okay. I
So
missed. I think you. I think I heard that, and I didn't. I was just happy the PR was merged. Oh. We're continuing contributing. This is mostly so far what we've done is just move stuff from the old contributing.md file into the contributing guide that is accessed from the top tab. So we have a couple more these that are almost done, at least for what they are. And this is kind of basically it's your cheat sheet if you're not a super Git guru.
I'm
And
wondering if it makes sense maybe to refer to well-established documentation for this.
there are
Uh,
several links to some stuff, and it was one that I wanted one that something about how big your PR should be, and I found a whole bunch of links from various places, but like I didn't find anything from GitHub itself or something. They were talking 250 to 300 lines or something. Yeah, we definitely add it. Yeah, there's a lot of things here that I've also asked a couple, and will anybody, this is another one for new contributors. I would love to have them look, because this is hard. It's like, when are you being too remedial and when did you not say something that's confusing? So,
Yeah.
um,
For some of them, I think these two we provide you with review, but we'll then
right,
review this
they're
later
also,
today.
yeah, I just wanted everybody to know, there's the Git one and then the contributing guidelines. And actually, let's hold that for a second. Yash, did I see that you're here?
Yes, yes.
Yes. What's going on with the scheduler architecture document?
The documentation is now completely done. Basically, the last yesterday only there was few suggestions which was there by, and I had implemented them. So the final, I can say, docs is ready. So we'd like to get your all views on that. The
All
final
right,
documentation is ready on the scheduler part.
perfect.
Thank you very much.
Take a look at that. And then we the DTO, that's pretty, that's just what was there, who cares? But it does have the information in it. And then comes between contributing guide and Git and Anna, our definition of done for software. For the, actually, Giovanni, click on contributing guidelines real fast here. Up under, right after migration strategy.
You mean this
The
one?
guidelines, yeah. And so there we basically, we have a little one for docs, but the PR listed in the wrong order. Go, I think the main one, there's a main one that applies to both software and docs. There we go.
But for you, Anna, what would you like to have here?
I think it would be useful to have a simple list of to-do list for, especially for new contributors, of what should be done before putting your PR as ready. So for instance, for documentation, this could be, okay, all the markdown and linter checks are passed. You don't write your own YAML files, but you embed documentation so that this is corrected by our YAML lint tool, stuff like that, or like you do exactly what's in the ticket, no more than that. I know this is obvious, but we're getting more and more contributors, and it would be nice
Right.
to have this kind of list of stuff we expect even before we check it.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody has similar suggestions.
Right, and some of that is already in those guidelines, so we just need to, what's in the guidelines is what was previously in the contributing.md files. Let's add the rest in.
What if we have a PR template for that? Because I think if that's buried in the contribution guidelines,
yeah,
don't
nobody
think...
reads this stuff, do they? We could
even if they read it once at the beginning when they start contributing, when you're done with all your contributions, it would be great to have that list as checkboxes available in the PR template, I think.
You're right. You're right.
Did we had something for just issue template?
We just have it for our issue templates. Yeah.
We have a pull request template here.
Yeah, so maybe we can enhance that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Although that's for Keptn v1, right?
Yes, but we can.
Do we have any docs around what actually happens in a PR? Like, because if I'm raising a PR as a first contributor, if I know what GitHub actions are going to trigger and what to expect, I know then, like if I know a markdown linter is going to run, I then know I need to run, I can preemptively run a check.
That's actually in the contrib guide already, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's also explained how to fix the linter errors and these kind of things.
Still gets me.
Right. I did tell them that after they push their PR, they have to go back. They should go back in a few minutes and check the tests that they all passed. And if they didn't, fix the PR so they do pass.
Okay. So let's add a PR template with a to-do list and maybe commenting to the contributing guidelines this to-do list. So we have in both places.
Right, because we've got the Git doc does list the semantic feet : doc : etc. The titles of that. So that's one piece of it. So yeah, if somebody makes the template, I can use that as source to fill out the contributing guidelines. And
sounds good.
It would how would we feel about going ahead and merging what we've got for contributing guidelines, and then we do another PR to add this to it?
That's also fine.
Oh yeah, that should be a whole separate issue anyways.
Yes. as more kind of jumped on me, but he's absolutely right. We do have a tendency with the doc stuff. We do some little things like, oh, we should add this, and all of a sudden it's hanging out there for forever. So
Mo, I guess you're volunteering yourself.
Sure.
And I put Anna as well for good manner since raises the topic. Thank you. Then a very interesting topic from Adam. And
Sorry, I did it again.
that's
No
that's your
worries.
job, Adam, is to bring up interesting topics. That's why we keep you around.
Just this is the same old. This is the same thing I raised a while ago. It might already be solved. I'm not aware. So it's really about how do we get important docs changes out to live as quickly as possible if they're relevant to this version.
And we discussed that last week. And somebody volunteered that they were going to actually write up a doc for the contributing guides about how docs are published.
It's in review, I believe. I don't remember, honestly.
Well,
who created PR, Moritz? Was it you or?
It wasn't me, but I have no idea anymore.
I think we have an issue for it that
Maybe
more
it was just
created, and there was some contributor that called
Yeah.
me. So maybe we can go from there if you want to find it.
I found the issue. 1863. Oh yeah, and there's an open PR by Shivang. Which I still need to re-review, apparently.
But to answer your question, Adam, so we have a process, but it's manual. You need to backport any merge commit in main into the page branch. And then GitHub does the magic to automatically trigger everything to live.
Okay.
So
So
there
it
is a
needs to
manual
go-
process
Okay.
in both. But we can do that. Like I did yesterday to bring the migration guide to live.
So how do we kind of trigger that manual process? How do we request it? I guess is the question. If we've got docs on main, how do we kind of put our hand up and say let's do it?
You create a PR against the page branch. So we have page. We create a PR against this branch, and once it's merged, then everything goes live. So it's just create a PR against this branch.
Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to go to main first. It can go straight to page.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. That's also why all the edit links on the docs page is actually always open the file on the page branch.
Okay. Okay, cool.
That's the page branch is always the live version.
Yeah. And if we want to keep them for future release, we ask also to have a PR for main after.
Exactly.
The only thing, you can also see that the page branch contains only our configuration for the website and not the code. And keep in mind, because it's a bit tricky if you don't know, you see here, let me open here. So here are the previous versions. The one that you see in the drop-down menu. And the latest version, or the one that you go automatically without any special URL, is the one in 2 docs.
Okay.
And this is the one that is by default available here. Otherwise, if you press or a specific release, you go into this. special URL and into the folder.
Cool, thanks. That's
You're
me done,
welcome.
I promise.
No worries. Any other topic regarding documentation? From you, Meg, anything else that you'd like to
Nope.
discuss?
I think that's all I got.
Nice. Okie dokie, then we can jump to the next block, which is for technical discussions, although we speak already a bit about technical stuff, but if you have any other technical topic, please add it to the agenda. Otherwise, for today, I have a single ticket that I'd like to discuss with the group, which is this one, to improve the analysis feature validation webhook. Anna, since it's your ticket, do you like to go over it?
Yeah, premises, we don't have to do it, but it would be nice to have it. The thing is, while I was developing the controller, I realized that you can create the analysis CRD in two directions, right? And one direction is obvious, and the other direction, because we are having a reference from the other CRD, and this reference is not validated, you may come up with a name which is not valid for the Kubernetes resources. And this could be a little bit frustrating. Like you put something that then you go and try to create a resource, it will fail. So you go back, you have to edit the previous one to have something that works and so on. And this could be easily prevented if we have a validation webhook that checks that actually the object reference that you have in the CRD has a valid Kubernetes string for the name. Yeah, that's more or less it. We do have a validation webhook for one of them. For the other two resources, we don't. So this would mean also adding them. I don't know. You tell me if it makes sense. For me, this was very frustrating.
Opinions?
Sounds good. I would just add to the acceptance criteria also unit tests, since those are easy to add for the validation webhooks.
Yeah, fair.
Just so we've got this on record, where would this, because obviously this behavior is...
You're very quiet, Adam.
Yeah, you're
Sorry, try that again.
Yeah, good.
So we've got this on record. Where would this behavior right now manifest itself? What? Because I've never kind of seen this. What?
So this is a feature that we are currently developing.
Okay.
Which is the SLI SLO quality gate of Keptn v1 for Keptn lifecycle toolkit. So it's not there yet. That's why I didn't see or didn't play with that yet. We have just few pieces put in place.
Okay.
To me, this sounds good. Whatever we can prevent earlier enough is good. The only problem is, what do you call it? Apply order might be problematic or not.
Yeah, so basically, if I create first my template, then my definition, then my analysis, there is no problem because definition refers template and analysis refer definition. So I will be blocked by the kubectl if I try to create a resource that has a bad name, right? But if I do on the opposite way, then the reference name for us is just a field inside the resource. So this check won't be done. So if I create first the analysis, I will refer to something that then I cannot create.
Fair. And yeah, if it's only about preventing bad names or bad strings, better calling, for name and namespace, I'm fine to have this.
So we already have the validation of that in the referenced object. So the name and namespace is actually validated already.
Yes, the object reference is not validated. This is a field inside the spec.
Which is just adding the webhook and calling the logic. So very
And
straightforward.
tools like Argo are going to be happy with creating things in the right order.
Yeah, but the ordering shouldn't make that much of a difference here. The analysis value template or analysis definition, until the user basically does not create an analysis CRD, then it shouldn't bother us the order of the value template or definition.
Yeah, exactly. The
That's
only
right.
bothering thing is the wrong naming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it? Wait. I was just thinking we could also check that the object as reference is actually there, but that then order is important.
I wouldn't do that because it's easier to mess up the whole thing.
I mean, I don't know. That's
It's,
not really a thing that's ever done in Kubernetes, I think.
it's
There's lots of
linked.
object references, and that's not a thing anywhere, I think. Think of secret references, for example.
Yeah.
You can always have the issue that you reference a secret somewhere in your deployment and it's just not there and the deployment won't come up. That's the only cue you get that it doesn't work.
Yeah, that is okay.
That's what I meant before, that I do not like to check if that exists or not, but only validate that we provide good strings.
No, but
here.
even that is not done in Kubernetes default. You can have any secret name in your reference. It doesn't care. As far as I know, at least. The validation is only done on the actual resource, not on any reference to it.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned this is up to us if we want to have this to prevent. Because really the real bother is, okay, I need to reapply my CRD definition and change the object reference with a name which is valid.
But you'd get that for free from Kubernetes anyway, wouldn't you? With an error, basically. Might be a little bit cryptic, but it would be the same as a secret not being there. If we did nothing.
Yeah.
I think the difference is when we want to fail. Later at runtime, when I'm running my validation, or early enough when I try to apply the manifests.
I'm correct. The default behavior also in Kubernetes, as I mentioned, deployment won't come out if the secret does not exist. So we should go with the same pattern here. So fail at runtime.
I would also say so. It's not necessarily super user-friendly, but at least it's the same pattern as people are used to. If that makes sense.
I think one thing to that might be worth to try at first is to try how, for example, deployment behaves or kubectl behaves when you try to create a deployment with a secret ref with the secret name being set to an invalid name, like including a underscore or something. Because here I'm actually not sure if it's like you say, that it doesn't do any validation on the reference name at all, or if it also does this.
I would actually argue this is not true. I have the feeling I had this failed before.
Yeah, it would fail with a config error probably, or
probably, yeah.
It definitely fails
validated
if the secret doesn't exist.
But at runtime, not at apply.
No, it will fail.
Exactly. At apply, it does. We don't really care if it exists or not, just if it's a valid name. Yeah.
So I see that the general agreement is around not worth it at the moment. Nice idea, but let's keep it consistent with the general Kubernetes behavior. I see some people nodding. And we decided to keep it with okie dokie. So we don't have any other ticket to refine.
I have one question. I think I see somebody who might be a first timer here. Hariam, are you still here? Hariam Shadgari? Did I pronounce that correctly?
Hello and welcome. Okay, if you can hear us, good. Otherwise, I think we can go into the next topic about Adam.
I lied, you see. Thinking I was all done. Again, this one might have already been discussed and solved, but it's the whole anything other than deployments. Can we annotate things other than it? Is it on the roadmap? Will it be possible? Should we discuss whether we want it, etc.?
I think that would be an awesome discussion to trigger it. At the moment, no. We specifically look for workloads. If you look into our webhook, mutation webhook, we look for basically everything that creates a pod. Deployments, replica sets, and so on and so forth. Daemon sets. However, yesterday also I was speaking with another member from the community, and he would like to integrate with Argo as well, monitor Argo workflows in particular. There are also people, I don't remember that specific person, but they suggested to monitor infrastructure deployment through Crossplane, because I'm deploying my infrastructure through Crossplane. So it's nothing else than a special type of deployment in Kubernetes. So Keptn could also monitor and do pre-task and post-task for that, like verifying that my node is big enough to support all the, or have enough resources for my application, I don't know, whatever, or security checks, and then checks that the infrastructure is healthy, so I can trigger the deployment of the application. So there are ideas around this topic, but nothing concrete at the moment. And I think it's worth a discussion, so we can also collect more feedback from the community. So ready. Let me note just that. Oh, it was correct. Then Adam, any other tickets or topics to discuss? Thanks a lot. Then from the chat, I see there is some message in the chat. Florian just checked. A pod containing a reference to a secret with an invalid name can be applied. So the naming restrictions are not checked here as well. So that's good that we marked it as an ignored ticket. Okie dokie. Then if there are no further topics to discuss, we are already 2 minutes over time, I guess. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.